Hey guys, welcome back once again to another rare game experience. And today, yep, we're gonna talk the arcade again. This one, I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna be a little bizarre. Now imagine this, you're walking along and you see a cabinet that looks something like a sun holding up a hand and breathing fire at a ship. The cartoonish look of the character is fun, but a bit odd for what looks like a space shooter. Then you look down at the name and you see Flower. It's then you realize that you're not looking at a sun, but a sunflower. Wait, what kind of game is this? Well, if you have a minute, sit back and hang out a while as we dig into the mystery that is Flower. No, not that one. The space shooter one. I can't believe I just said that. Now, in the 1970s, and well, mostly through the entirety of the arcade really, there's been a draw to shooter games, in part because of the concept. I mean, it's pretty simple and easy to understand. You and your little ship either move back and forth or fly around shooting various different hostiles. Sometimes it's just through empty space, and sometimes it's over land settings. They always seem to be popular, whether they're vertical or horizontal, and as such, there's been any number of games made that cashed in on all of this. Well, that's exactly what happened with a little-known game called Flower. In this game, you and your little spaceship, yes, you heard me, spaceship. I'm still kind of flummoxed by the fact we're talking about this. Well, you're flying around and shooting all sorts of literal flowers in outer space. Outer space. To handle this, this pesky pollen infestation in space, you had various different weapons. Your standard laser fire, missiles. I'll be honest, I've had some really stubborn weeds in my yard that felt like I could use a missile or two on them, but I never thought to drop them. You also had a cutter, and I want to say that one's obvious, but nothing about this game's really been obvious at this point. I'll just shrug and say that you're shooting flowers in outer space and kind of go with it, and I suggest that you do too. As if this level of madness wasn't really enough, the game actually really had bosses as well. And I know everyone's pretty much used to this in modern games, but not all shooters had them back in the day. This one, much like its game's namesake and design, had some really odd ones. Anything from a perforated red line to a giant sunflower, all the way to other spaceships and giant planets. I'd like to say I'm joking, but I'm not. Heck, even the last level had you flying through a broken planet only to face a red rose as the final boss of the game. And if this wasn't enough for you, you even have to shoot some locks in order to open the escape stem. Yeah, you heard that right. And you have to use this to dart out and escape. At this point, the game just loops again. I am gonna be honest. For a moment here, just reading this again, it makes virtually no sense. None at all. In style, the mismatch of bosses, it's all just super bizarre, but not nearly as bizarre as little is known about the game. Not the gameplay, but who made it. From what little I was able to find, and I stress little, the game was made by a company called Alpha Denshi, which is now defunct. But oddly, almost no information of it shows up in their library of games. All we do know is that it was distributed by Coramax and may have been their only game distributed ever, and was released jointly between Sega and Alpha Denshi in Japan. And to say this cabinet is rare would be an understatement. From what I could tell off of the Museum of Game website, it has a rarity of 3 out of 100, with 1 being the absolute rock bottom. They state that out of everyone who comes to the site, roughly 9 have been reported. Of those 9, this cabinet, one of the cabinets honestly, is a conversion, and the rest were just circuit boards. So no one actually has an original cabinet of this, to my knowledge. I honestly think it might be the rarest cabinet I've ever seen on this channel at all. And to go with one of the most unique shooters theme-wise, I think that's just, it's just bizarre. However, what do you guys think of this one? Did any of you ever know about this one at all? Did any of you ever get a chance to play it? And if so, what did you think of it? Do you own any of these boards or know anyone who does? Let me know in the comments. While you're there, if you don't mind, leave this video a like. And if you see more of my content you like, possibly something on the screen now, consider following the channel. That actually helps me out a ton. As for now though, thank you once again for spending part of your day with me. Until we meet again, happy gaming!